Hi there, my name is Jessica, and I was born with a limb difference that affects both my hands and my feet. I was born with one finger on each hand and one toe on each foot. Unfortunately, I don't know too much about this condition or why I have it. From what I understand, my mother never took any kind of medication while she was pregnant with me, and that both my parents had no clue this was happening until I was born. The sonogram did not pick that up, which, I was born in the 80s. Technology was not top tier back then compared to what we have now. Luckily for me, growing up, I had very supportive friends and family. My parents always made it very clear to me that I could do whatever I wanted to do. I just had to put my mind to it. And there were a lot of things growing up that I might have had to learn to do differently from other people. Things like zipping my jacket, tying my shoes. That really did come with a lot of practice until I figured out ways that I could make these things happen. Unfortunately, I did, however, get a lot of bullying and a lot of hate, primarily while I was in high school. There were people that would send absolutely horrible messages to me, things telling me that nobody wants to live in a world with people like me, or, people who look like me should all be on a deserted island together so that we wouldn't force the rest of the world to have to deal with us and have to look at us. I am so very grateful that I had a wonderful group of friends that really supported me through high school and helped me remember my self-worth, and that the people that are saying things like this, they don't matter. Their words do not mean anything compared to who I am as a person. That has continued a little bit into my adult life as well. There have been people that have refused to go on a date with me because of my hands. Even though, my friends will tell me now, they forget all the time that my hands are the way they are and my feet are the way that they are, because they're just so used to it. And I think since I try really hard to not let my hands and my feet hold me back from anything, that helps people to forget about this condition. There are very few things that I would say I feel like I'm being held back from. I'm very into my health and fitness. I've been on a weight loss journey for about a year now, and I love going to the gym. Unfortunately, there's certain things I can't do, like deadlifting or bench pressing. I can do deadlifting in a very modified way. Bench pressing, I haven't really found a way to do modified, but everything that I would need to do, I am able to do. The only thing I would think that I really do struggle with now, related to my hands and my feet, would be my balance or standing for a very long period of time. I have small feet, so balancing can get a little difficult, especially if I am standing for quite a while. Because of my feet as well, things like running, hiking, those also depend on having really good shoes. Finding shoes for me is nearly impossible. Tennis shoes are typically the only thing that fit me and feel comfortable. So if I do find a pair that fits and I can wear, I'll typically buy multiple pairs of them so that I know I'm okay for a little while. Part of this condition, I think, really leads people to find out how tough they can be, how resilient they can be, how creative they can be, trying to find ways to do things that are out of the box, things that you would never even think of. Could be something as simple like when I put my hair up in a ponytail. If I want it to be a very high ponytail, I sometimes have to lay my head flat somewhere so that I can get a good enough grip on my hair to put it up nice and high. I can do a ponytail without having to lay my head down, but sometimes that just helps. Tying my shoes can be a little difficult. I am able to do it. Sometimes I get lucky and I get it completed on the first try. Other times I may need to do it 4, 5, 6 times before, the knots have gone through tight enough to hold together. Zipping jackets can be a little difficult as well. Again, something I am able to do, but takes a little bit of time. I do find that sometimes I get a little impatient with myself if I can't do something right the first time. And then, I kind of have to remind myself, you have a condition of your hands and your feet. It is okay if you don't get it right the first time. You're going to keep practicing. You're going to keep figuring out other ways of doing things that work for you. I do get a lot of questions on social media from people about, things like, how do you type? How do you drive? How do you cook? And I think the easiest thing for me to say is, overall, I do everything just like everybody else. Typing, I'm actually a very fast typer on the computer. On a good day, I type typically about 90 words per minute, sometimes a little bit higher. Texting's not a problem. Cooking, depending on what I'm cooking, sometimes I can struggle with cutting. But again, for the most part, I've learned, special ways to do everything so that I'm able to lead a successful life, to make every day work somewhat perfectly, as perfect as I can get it.
Thanks for watching StoryTrender. Don't forget to like and follow.